Hey, welcome. Birdwatching is just one of those simple, amazing joys in life. Well, right up until you see this absolutely stunning bird you've never seen before, and you have no earthly idea what it is. So today, we're going to tackle that exact moment. We're going to turn that frustration into fascination by really learning how to use the single most important tool for any birdwatcher, the field guide.
We've all been there, right? You're just walking through a park, maybe even looking out your kitchen window, and you see it. This flash of color or a really cool pattern on a wing. And that first feeling is just, wow. But it's almost immediately followed by that nagging question, what is that bird? And it feels like you're missing out on a huge part of the story.
But what if you could change that? What if you could turn that moment of not knowing into a real moment of connection? Well, that's what this is all about. We're going to lay out a really clear, simple path so you can start confidently identifying the birds you see and just get so much more out of your time in nature. Okay, so let's talk about your most important piece of gear, the field guide. Now, I want you to stop thinking of it as some dense, complicated textbook. Think of it as your map. It's your guide to navigating the absolutely incredible world of birds. And while there are a lot of different guides out there, the way you use them is pretty much universal. So when you open up a guide, you're going to see birds shown in one of two ways. On the one hand, you've got illustrations. These are awesome because they're drawn specifically to highlight those key identifying marks, like a tiny stripe above the eye that separates two very similar species. On the other hand, you've got photos, which are great for seeing what the bird really looks like in its natural setting. A lot of modern guides actually use both, which gives you the best of both worlds. Here is a tip that is going to save you a ton of time. Field guides are not random. They're organized by bird family, so all the sparrows are together, all the ducks are together, and so on. And this is a massive shortcut, because once you can look at a bird and say, hey, that's shaped like a duck, you can flip straight to the duck section and completely ignore the other 90% of the book. It just narrows your search down instantly. All right, so before you even crack open that guide, the most important work happens. You have to know what to look for. This next part is all about training your eyes to be a fantastic observer, because it's not just about seeing the bird, it's about noticing the specific details that are going to unlock who it is. First thing always is size. This is your number one starting point, but just thinking it's small or it's big is way too vague. The trick is to use a mental ruler based on common birds you already know. Ask yourself, is it smaller than a sparrow? Is it about the size of a pigeon, or is it bigger than a crow? Making that quick comparison is probably the single most effective thing you can do to get started. Next up, let's talk color and pattern. And the key here is to get really specific. Don't just think to yourself, oh, it's a brown bird. Instead, ask, where are the colors? Is the head black with a yellow patch? Is the chest striped? Are there white bars on the wings? Those little details, those are the exact keywords your field guide is listening for. And hey, don't forget to look at the other parts of the bird. The beak is a huge giveaway about what it eats. Is it thick and cone-shaped for cracking seeds, or is it thin and pointy for grabbing insects? You'd be surprised, but even the color of its legs can sometimes be the one unique clue that solves the whole puzzle. Every little detail helps. So you've seen the bird, you've gathered all these little details in your mind. Now what? Well, now it's time to put it all together. Let's walk through a simple 5-step method that takes you all the way from just spotting the bird to making a confident ID. Okay, this is the whole game plan. First, memo. As soon as you see the bird, jot down everything you notice. A quick voice memo on your phone is perfect for this. Second, search. Now you open the guide and use your main clues like size and shape to find some birds that look right. 3, confirm. This is huge. Don't just look at the picture. Read the text. Is the bird even supposed to be in your area this time of year? 4, listen. If you heard it sing, see if the guide's description of the song matches. And finally, number 5, record. And this is important. It's okay if you're not sure. Just log it as unknown. Seriously, the mystery is what keeps this so much fun. Okay, so you've got the basics down, but how do you go from just using a field guide to really, truly mastering it? Well, it's all about building a relationship with the book itself. This might be the single best piece of advice for anyone who wants to get better at birding. Don't just open your guide when you see a mystery bird. Just flip through it sometimes, casually, like you're reading a magazine. When you do that, you start building this mental library of what's out there. And then when you finally see one of those birds in real life, it'll feel like meeting a celebrity you've already read all about. And here are a few more tips to really get you going. First, start local. Don't try to learn every bird in the country. Just master the birds in your neighborhood park.
Second, really use those range maps in your guide. They'll tell you what birds are even possible to see where you live, which cuts down the guesswork. Third, combine the old with the new. Use your physical guide alongside a cool smartphone app. And lastly, when you're picking a guide, get one you'll actually take with you. Something portable with big, clear pictures is always the way to go. So why do we do all this? Why does it even matter? Because learning a bird's name does something really powerful. It takes an anonymous, pretty bird and turns it into a familiar friend. You start to recognize them. You learn their habits. You notice when they arrive in the spring. It deepens your connection to the world around you in a really profound way. When you think about it, that feeling of not knowing a bird's name, it isn't really a frustration. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to look a little closer, to get a little more curious, and to discover something new. So the next time you see a bird you don't recognize, don't just let it fly away. Pull out your guide and accept that invitation. Trust me, the journey is always worth it.